This is the BraveCo podcast. I'm your host, Jason Bellet. Welcome back to the BraveCo podcast. For the fourth time, I've been trying to do this intro. Listen, I am here with my brother, Cole Zick. If you guys don't know Cole is used to be the leader of More Revolution. Cole and I have been together for a long time, probably 7 years, running together as brothers. He's been on the BraveCo podcast a long time. He is now the head pastor, the lead pastor of Risen King, and has taken most of his church members from other churches, but we are
mostly Bethel.
So glad.
If they grew greener grass, they wouldn't be looking for a new pasture. It's not my fault.
Hey, listen, today we want to dive in. If you missed our conversation about Charlie Kirk that Cole and I had, you should go back and watch it. When Cole comes on, we like to talk about current events that are happening, what our take is on it. But this week, I want to dive into some things that have been happening. And I mean, it's like every time I turn around, there's something else happening.
Yeah.
Somebody else has been shot. Somebody else has been stabbed. An assassination happened. Literally, it's like, well, the stats are right now, I think there's 352 mass shootings that have happened this year alone.
Crazy.
In the United States. So we're not talking
crazy.
about across the world. There's 300 plus. And I was just thinking earlier today, because I've been thinking a lot. I've been answering phone calls. The Charlie Kirk thing rattled people for two reasons. One, because of the obvious.
Yeah.
Because of who Charlie was. The actual is one of the only assassinations that has ever really happened on live, like on
That people saw, that 12-year-olds watched on camera.
That like really happened.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And we covered it, like I said, a couple weeks ago, like really thoroughly. But two, I think it brought to mind, because it was so public, because it was so live, and I think because of what it was about, somebody had a different opinion than you that you don't like, and so I'm going to shoot them.
Yeah.
And then after that, there was several shootings that happened right after that.
Mm-hmm.
In churches. There was one the day before in a church. Yesterday, there was mass shooting. A guy drove his vehicle into a church, set the church on fire, shot 4 people, injured 8, or killed 4 people, injured 8. Like, just like all this stuff is happening. I've been on the phone with a couple of pastors, larger pastors of like mega type churches,
Mm-hmm.
Of like 8,000 or more.
Mega.
Well,
I think mega's 2,000.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Double mega.
Quadruple.
Is that a maggot? No.
So
bad joke. Where they're genuinely like, what should I do? Like on a practical level, like the reality that, because I think when something like that happens, I'm gathering my thoughts here. I think when something like that happens, it kind of gives permission for other people to do that same type of thing. It's like when Columbine
happened. Like, it gives them the idea. Like, you'd never thought of it until you heard it. Like, oh, I might do. I'm mad too.
It like emboldens that spirit, right? When Columbine happened, do you remember when Columbine happened?
Yeah.
All of a sudden you saw this uptick
in school violence.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then schools were going, what's our response? Like, do you remember that? Like, do we put a police officer on
campus cop, all that stuff? Yeah.
Do we allow teachers to conceal carry? And I've got a lot of thoughts around those things, but those were the questions, right? So I have a few questions that I want to talk about today. One, and we're not going to cover them in order, but I want to just talk about hear about your thoughts. But what is the responsibility that we have as a man? Because we know our responsibility as a man is to protect, provide, and promote. Okay, that protect piece is interesting for me here. Because if you just follow me for a second, when we think about like morality, like I feel like our movement is the kingdom of heaven suffers violent and the violent take it by force. When it comes to, that's why we started Moral Revolution. We started Moral Revolution to be on the front edge, to be vocal about morality, to be vocal about what we thought about abortion, what we thought about sleeping around, purity, right? And to actually bring a I don't know, a light of truth, a powerful light of truth into these places where darkness is. And so that's one way that we protect. The other way that we protect, to me, so we're protecting people's minds. Like, we have the Transformation Center. We're like healing broken people, people that are lost. But I guess at what extent do you keep going, right? Like, do you go to the point where you think, as men, like every godly Christian man should be able to defend emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, if you're capable, like if you're not in a wheelchair or something, physically? And and if that's true, do you train and get your concealed carry? Do you learn jujitsu? Like what are some of your thoughts, Cole? I have some thoughts, but
Yeah, I think it's tough. I think I don't disagree with I know it's the acronym that BraveCo uses is the provide, protect, those three
promote, yeah.
P's, promote. I do think one big one that isn't just under protect in my view. I think is equally critical as those three is to heal. Like even when I look at the instruction he gives to husbands,
Yeah.
love your wives as Christ loved the church,
Mm,
giving himself up for her to make her holy, cleansing her through the washing of the water with the word.
that's great.
So I think there's two sides. There has to be what is the real answer to healing right now? Like these violent acts, it's not the first time our nation has seen violence. Now, no doubt about it, the mass
Yeah.
shootings is a new thing
They're
in the
wild,
last
yeah.
20 years, right? But like you think of the 90s, there was violence was all over.
Well, church history is riddled with violence.
Right. So I think part of it goes, what does the healing path look like? That's a question that has to be asked. Now, also, while people are healing, yeah, covering and protecting. I think it's a slippery slope to me because I know we've had people at our church
Yeah, for
that
sure.
go, hey, are you good with me carrying it on a Sunday?
What do you say?
I say no,
You're not,
I'm not. And
even though you know people do.
even though I know people do, I just, if I don't know about it, I'm not going through and
Yeah.
checking. I'm not
So you
making,
put like when you hug somebody, is it
you do
like a
a,
pat
you do a
down?
peace pat. We're not doing that. We're not checking that out. And it's not that I'm not okay with people carrying. What I don't want to do is create a vigilante culture because what can also happen is you hear these stories of these shootings, and I got a guy sitting at home getting worked up watching this, as worked up as you and I get.
Mhm.
But this guy at home that's watching it in my church doesn't have the emotional composure, the emotional maturity, the ability to know what to do and how to respond.
Mhm.
And he now starts imagining himself being the hero in a setting.
Mhm.
He's got no gun training. I'm talking a total random person. This isn't like an individual. I'm
Mhm.
going to hypothetical. He's not trained as a police officer, ex-military. He's got
Mhm.
no training with he's just building a story in his head.
Mhm.
And then now all of a sudden, something that's not even the danger happens on a Sunday. He jumps up because of this narrative
Mhm.
he sat on a Friday night, a Saturday night prepping for. So I think there's a
Do you
real,
know that it's illegal to carry a gun without training?
yeah,
No, it's a real question.
but the training there's a difference between the training required for a CCL or CCW and the training, the emotional and mental
Mhm.
training that a police officer goes
I'm
through.
not I'm in no way,
Right.
like, arguing with I just wasn't sure if you
Because
knew.
I've done the CCW training.
Oh,
And I'm not a cop background. It
yeah.
wasn't hard to get through the CCW
Mhm.
training, to be quite honest. You basically
Yeah.
have to not be mentally ill.
Like, you still wouldn't know where to point your gun.
No, I would know where to point my
I don't
gun.
know that you would.
Okay. I've shot guns.
Yeah.
So my thing isn't a concern with guns. My thing is the emotional ability for somebody to be mature enough to actually
The
de-escalate a
fortitude
situation.
that it takes to, like.
That's not a test thing,
Mhm.
right? Like that's am I clear enough headed to actually make the situation better rather than make it worse?
Okay, but can I say this? And I'm not actually arguing about whether or not somebody should carry a gun.
Okay.
My whole thing is I think that it's a man's job to step up and be able to de-escalate
Yeah.
a conflict,
Right.
whether it's my kids yelling at my wife,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Like that's a daily occurrence. It really is.
Yeah.
My 3-year-old, like, Mom, Dad, no. And I'm like, whoa, hey, hold on, bud.
Totally.
Like, come over here,
Yeah.
or de-escalating a conflict between two people
Yeah.
that I've had to do on occasion.
Mhm.
Like, hey, whoa, what's happening? In fact, can I throw this in here?
Yep.
My son the other night calls me and he says, hey, there's somebody that's chasing me on the freeway. Like somebody's following me on the freeway. And I was like, oh, frick. So it's 11 o'clock at night. I'm in my underwear, sleeping. So I like get out of bed and I say like, he's driving around my neighborhood. I have 2 sons, so people won't know which one it was.
3 sons.
I have 3, yeah. So I said, okay, go around the neighborhood one more time. Cause like I got to grab, so I grab my shotgun. I load my shotgun. I run outside. I hide behind my trash can and I say, hey, pull through our driveway. And so he pulled into our driveway and I got up behind this car. The car pulled up top on the road. Now, I'm not even thinking about what I'm doing. I'm literally just like,
Pause. This is also why I've told my kids to never TP Jason Valentin.
yeah, don't.
This story right here, because my kids are to TP, and then they've talked about Jay. I'm like, you don't ever hit Jason's house.
I could tell you one other
You
story.
might not come
I can tell you one other story that happened this year.
I know the story.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Well, so, but I mean, it's my son, right? And he's like, this guy's following me through the neighborhood. He's
Yeah.
he's crazy. So he pulls through. I have my shotgun loaded. I grabbed a random shirt. I thought it was pants from I reached up above my safe is my hunting clothing. So I grabbed it off and I realized it was just a long sleeve shirt. So on my way out, I threw it on. So I'm literally in my underwear and this long sleeve camo shirt.
And it was just a girl trying to get his number.
Yeah, that would have been better. Anyways, it was this guy's yelling at my son out the window. He's parked on the street. So I come up behind him with my shotgun. I'm not pointing it at him, but it's loaded and safety's on. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, is that your son? And I was like, yeah, that's my son. I realized like I'm standing in my underwear yelling at this guy. We have a dialogue. He's like, oh, your son was driving crazy. Now my son's standing there and he's like, you were driving crazy, So come to find out, this guy literally says, he's talking back and forth with my son, and I'm like, hey, wait, stop. And he's like, are you Jason Valentin?
That was great.
No, for reals.
That's funny.
That is what he said. I was like, yes. Long story
Did you ever
short.
see the gun in your hand?
Yeah, I mean, I was standing with it right there. Long story short, we de-escalated it.
Yeah.
It was like, y'all,
right.
Go home. Like, listen, go home.
And I may have jumped in too quick because of what we talked about before we were up on camera. But I think that question, that the mandate of protection is there.
Should we build competencies?
The question is how we do it. And that's my concern is not everybody, Jay, has the emotional intelligence that you have to not escalate a situation like this. I'll be honest with you. One of the main things I deal with as a pastor is men who can't not escalate their marriages when things are bad. And they can't not throw the jab in, and they can't not throw. So I'm like, you can't not escalate with your wife when it's about what to do on a Friday night.
Hey, you're going to sit in my
You think I want you to sit with a gun in my church? No, I don't want you sitting a gun in my church when you can't, right? Like
show mastery. Show
mastery of your emotions in a conversation about what Friday night looks like or how to spend your time, right? And so I think that's my piece where I go, something needs to be done, yes.
Yeah.
What is that? So for us, I'll give you kind of some of the things we went through in our church. Our church is far from a mega church, but we've had a couple scenarios where we felt like the big one was we had, I got to be really vague. We just had a situation on a Sunday where we were really highly suspicious somebody was going to come on our campus. It was a family dispute.
Some bad person.
It was a family dispute.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that.
That's great.
At that point, we didn't have security at our church. We didn't really need it. The nice part, we're a church in Redding. Redding is where Bethel is. Everyone focuses on Bethel. Nobody cares about us. And so
If you're angry, Cole just gives him the address to Bethel. Like, oh no, you got the wrong church.
Here's the phone number for Jason Valadin, and here's his email.
Yeah.
And so we're dealing with this, but it's a family situation that I thought, oh man, there's a legit chance that this person could come. So that's what sparked a security team. We've had a security team ever since, for the sake of making sure our team is safe. But our security team are all former police officers that weren't discharged because of issues, right? Like, we look into their background significantly. I want people that I know can handle high pressure situations. I want people whose personality, I've watched them be a de-escalator rather than a gasoline infuser, right? That I've watched. I want them to be better at talking their way out of a situation than they are at tackling somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Be better at talking than fighting your way out. Yeah.
Now, fully trained, that if they have to put someone down, they can absolutely put somebody down. And so I think, like, for me, just from the rudimentary, like the basic level, how do we keep people safe if somebody were to come to our church and do the same thing? To me, it's not just get people packing, it's get the right people that have been trained in de-escalation conversation, that know what to look for in body language, that are looking for a lot of other things, that aren't just living out a narrative they built in their head Friday night. And so that, to me, is a really important part of this process for church leaders. Don't, even as a church leader, if I could talk to the church leaders that are watching for a second, it can be really easy to allow the headline to shove us into a fearful response. We actually have to intentionally walk into a methodical response and go, I am very aware this could happen to our church. We're not
No, I mean,
we're not a mega church, but we're also not on nobody's radar. Like, our church is 40 years old. There could be a wake of people that were hurt since we've been there, whatever. So I'm aware of it. So now I methodically build it with people that have composure, that their goal is de-escalation and protection, but their skill set is do what's needed when it's needed. And I'm not giving a vigilante license out to everybody that has a CCW, because, to be quite honest, I don't know what everybody's journey is. That I know what it took me to pass it. Nothing. So
if Cole got it. Listen, well, for me, I don't know if I already said this, but I'm not shocked that this is where we're at. In the world.
I agree with that.
It's
heartbreaking, though.
It's the same spirit. Did I say this already? The same spirit.
I don't think so.
It's the same spirit that says it's okay to cut off your genitalia. It's okay to call yourself a girl if you're a boy. It's okay to kill a baby. That's the same spirit that says you should kill that guy you disagree with. It is like this murdering spirit, right? It's the same spirit driving it. Like, what's the lesser of two evils? Somebody that wants to drive a car in and shoot somebody, or somebody that wants to indoctrinate our children, lie to them, manipulate them, and say, your parents aren't safe. Your parents can't know in California if you want to call yourself a boy and you're a girl at school, your parents can't know.
I would go a step further than it's saying it's the same spirit. I would say that every demonic spirit's goal is to take human life. And I've watched that in deliverances that we've done with people, because I've done countless deliverances where it didn't matter what was being delivered. It could have been a spirit that was apathy. It could have been a spirit that was sexuality, sexual immorality. Oftentimes, that it was wild. The temptation of suicide was present regardless of the spirit type.
It's real.
And so I would even go a step further and go, whether it's the exact same spirit, you have a desire to kill the image of God that we bear, that is rooted in every single demonic influence.
I guess proof would be Jesus casts the demons out of
Legion.
Out of Legion into pigs, and the pigs what?
Go off the cliff. I'll tell you, Jay, especially, it was really heightened when we were in Sacramento and we were in inner city ministry. We were having deliverances regularly. The amount of times that those were attached to suicide cutting,
Yeah.
some type of
Yeah.
damaging
Yeah.
the image or the person, or, like there'd be stories of students that would go through their yearbooks and scratch their own face out of the yearbook. I mean, it was this wild attack. I believe it to be an attack on the image of God. The enemy knows he can't attack God in that way, and he knows we carry his image. So it's that
Yeah.
ultimate hatred that we bear, that doesn't matter what type of spirit it is, comes to that ultimate
Yeah.
goal, right?
Yeah. And for me, I guess I just want to put into clear view, like, it is the same spirit. Like, the same spirit that's indoctrinating kids
Yeah.
is the same spirit that's driving a vehicle through a church. And like, we first have to just call it what it is, right?
Mhm.
And but I do think, as a man, because driving here, stepping back, I'm like, God, what is my role? I just keep wanting to know what my role is, what my response should be. And because I feel like it's easy to go, this is somebody else's responsibility. Somebody should do something
Sure.
about this.
Sure.
Somebody should step up. And I know that I would say, like, okay, if we get all the way back to the root of this, the guy who killed Charlie Kirk, at least that we know of right now, is I'm saying, like, forget about your conspiracy theories.
What? That's the only place I live. It's
No,
conspiracy
I'm actually
land.
not mocking people, because I get it, and I have some conspiracies. I was 22 years old.
Yeah.
A 22-year-old broken kid.
Okay. Yep.
Broken. Um, w when we just keep going through, like, the different places of brokenness breeds brokenness.
Yeah. Hurt people hurt people.
They hurt people. And if you can get back to, like, how do we stop the bleeding? You have to, at some level, yes, we can defend, right? Like, I can get really good at learning to de-escalate stuff. I can get really good at mastering whatever, pistols and mixed martial arts, and I have a spot for that. I can talk about it in a little bit.
Yeah.
But at some point, we have to address, like, where is this all coming from?
Mm-hmm.
It's coming from broken people. It's like, it's your neighbor next door. It's I'll give you a good story. I was in Montana this weekend celebrating my wife and her best friend's 40th birthday. And it was Saturday morning. Um, and we were in Bozeman, Montana. And the Bozeman Cats, it was their homecoming game.
Which
And
is what level of
football,
team? High school?
college,
Okay.
the Cats, yeah. So they were like, the whole town was, like, celebrating. There was, like, floats and,
Yeah.
the frat,
Sounds awesome.
all the fraternity kids and stuff. Actually, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah. But I sat down at a coffee shop. Lauren was getting some coffee, and I was just hanging out. And all of a sudden, like, there's just a flood of frat people in there. And so I was, like, goofing around with them, talking to them. I'm like, oh, what are you going to college for? What are you getting your major in? And I got in a conversation with this one girl. And she was at a table with, like, 4 other girls. And I said to her, like, oh, after getting to know what her major was, like, hey, do you have a boyfriend here? And she was like, nah, I was dating that guy over there. And she points to this kid, like, across the room. She's like, hey, Billy. She literally is yelling across the, literally yelling, hey, Billy. And he like looks over and she waves at him. She's like, yeah, but he's like effed every girl since. And I was like, wow. I was, like, really taken back by how forward this girl was. And my wife was standing there, and I was like, wow. And she said, yeah, actually, I'm going to go talk to him. So she stood up and she goes over there to talk to him. And I said, well, I'm going to go help her out. So I just
Oh
went,
my
yeah, for real.
God.
So I went over there and I flipped the chair around and I sat down. And he was, okay, like, I got to paint the picture. This kid had not slept in 24 hours.
Why?
He'd been partying all night.
Wow.
Hadn't slept. His hair was a mess. He was just
Sounds
wearing,
like BraveCo conference.
yeah, he was wearing like a checkered bathrobe
'Kay.
with like a pair of pants on, no shirt underneath, pink glasses.
Probably no underwear.
Probably not. Pink glasses, right? And she sits right next to him, and looks like she's wearing almost like her nightgown too. It was just this terrible scenario.
Jeez. At a coffee shop.
Yeah, at a coffee shop.
Okay.
I'm going somewhere with this.
I'm fully on the edge of my seat.
So I sit down, and he's like, turns around, he's like, "Hey." I said, "How you doing, man?" He's like, "Oh, I'm doing good." I was like, what are you going to college for?" And he says, "Well, whatever." And I said, "So you were dating her?" And eh, he was like, "Oh, we slept together," or something like that. Like, these kids were so open. It was crazy. Right. And she was like, "Yeah, he wants to sleep."
I believe you did.
She says this. She says to him, "Yeah, he slept with 9 girls since the beginning of school." Right. And he goes, "Oh, you're making me out to be some whore," or something like that. And I said, "Oh, no. Hey, listen. Um, I said, what was home life like for you?" He's like, "Oh, I watched my mom fall off a horse and die when I was 8."
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, "Oh, wow. That's wild." And she was like, "Yeah, my dad died. That we trauma bonded together." That's what she said. "We trauma bonded together."
She knew what she did.
No, listen. And she leans in and she was like, "And I was wanting to take care of him." I said, "You weren't wanting to take care of him. You were wanting to sleep with him. Those are 2 different things."
Yeah.
And she stopped. And I said, "Hey, wait, hold on. Come back. Like, get back to the conversation." I said, "Hey, what did you do for the pain?" He said, "Well, my dad's like a 1960s dad. Like, literally, my mom died on a Thursday or Friday. We were back to school on Monday.
Hmm.
And my dad is back to work. Like, we didn't talk about it."
Wow.
And I said, "Hey, here's the deal, man. Like, all for the rest of your life, unless you deal with the pain that came, whether you recognize that you have pain from that or not, unless you deal with the pain, it's going to drive your life."
What did he say?
He was like, I mean, he didn't know what to say.
I don't know what to say. Don't go to a coffee shop. If you see Jason, run.
Or maybe that was the best advice he ever got.
It was probably the best advice he ever got.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, dude, you're such a good man.
Okay, so I can't wait to hear what the point of this is.
Like, you have to work through your pain.
Yeah.
My point is, this kid, I'm sitting there, she's saying he slept with 9 girls since the beginning. He actually got embarrassed.
Wow.
He's sitting there going like, "You're making me look like a bad guy."
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, "Well, you're not actually a bad guy. I wonder what's going on. I wonder what's causing you to
great,
do this
Jay.
thing that
That you're not even proud of.
you're not proud of." He wasn't like, "Yeah, and I'm going for another 10.
Yeah, right.
I want to get a high body count." He was actually like, he was looking at me.
Yeah, it's great.
And I said, "Hey, dude, I've got kids your age. I actually have kids your age. Like, I care about you. If you want to live this life that you're really proud of, you have to deal with this thing that's driving you in life." My whole point is
That's really good.
that we have to, as men, like, I just keep going back to like, yes, I learned jujitsu a while ago. It's where I tore my knee, my meniscus, which sucked bad because I have a value for physical fitness and exercise. And
Yeah.
I learned how to shoot pistols. Like, I've taken a couple like really legit classes, and we've taught courses and stuff through BraveCo. I think that's really important. And I value people that really know how to do that well. And I think that we need men that are really capable, and women that are really capable in it. And someday, if somebody saved your child because they were really competent, you'd be thankful.
Totally.
Or my wife.
I'm not anti-gun.
No, I know
you know
you're
that.
I know you're not. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We would both be like,
I'm anti-stupid with a gun.
yeah, me too. But ultimately, if we don't have a plan to heal what's broken, to raise up, train, equip, it's why we're taking BraveCo on the road and doing a rite of passage. We haven't even talked about it here. But if we don't if we don't raise young men, we'll constantly have to heal fathers forever.
Yeah, it's true.
If we don't have a plan for every man.
Yeah.
And I think it takes me back to, do I have a real plan for every man? Does a church pastor, when I say man, mankind.
Sure.
Does a church leader, like, that's my thing for churches, is like, for a church leader, like, no, you may not be able to stop a shooting physically, but we won't have to stop shootings. Well, I don't know. If we heal the man, We come and reconcile people. I mean, there's probably going to be shootings till God comes back.
Hopefully not. I mean, I gotta believe it's a cyclical cultural thing that we will heal out of. We've done it before.
Yeah.
We've healed out of very violent
Yeah, it's
parts of
true.
American history.
Yeah, it's real.
Like, I
Well,
believe
church history even more.
Yeah, church history. Like, I believe we can heal out of it. I'll be honest, I don't know. It feels insurmountable to me.
Mm.
Like, there's a part to me that goes, is that even really possible this
Yeah.
time? But I also imagine they've probably felt that in the other periods where it
Oh.
felt so violent that there was no fix or there was no
100%.
solve, right? You know, and I know we got to wrap up. Let me give this one. I had a really
do it.
cool dialogue this last week on this that I think is super applicable to this topic. I think one thing that we don't probably spend enough time dialoguing about is having, I don't even want to say both sides. Forget about both sides.
Mhm.
Every individual self-reflect and become self-aware of what biases they've already built in their head that can contribute to the way they see things. Because then I think it escalates, right? And so here's where this conversation comes from. I have a really good friend of mine. We grew up together. His name's Jason. And we're still super close, talk on the phone pretty.
Every one of Cole's make-believe friends is named Jason, by the way.
That's right. I name them all after my one true friend, which I don't know.
Keep going.
I couldn't
Sorry,
live
I
life
shouldn't have
without.
stopped you.
So Jay is super liberal, lived in Seattle, lived in Chicago. Him and I have lots of dialogues. We had probably the best 2-hour conversation about 4 days ago.
Oh.
He calls me and he starts the conversation and he goes, "Hey man, I just want to say," you could tell he was like just trying to get it out the best he could.
Yeah.
"Sorry about Charlie Kirk." Like he barely, not that he did, because he's
Yeah.
compassionate. Jay has compassion.
Yeah.
It's not, you know what I mean? It's not,
Mm.
he's definitely not a celebrator of
Yeah.
that, to be clear. But we started a dialogue. He goes, he's got a friend that's a pastor in LA in one of the denominations that's pretty contrary to everything we think, right? Pro trans, pro all that. And he goes, he posted this beautiful thing about, why Charlie Kirk was the problem, but used all this scripture on how we should accept him, he should love, and he goes, "I want you to read it and tell me what you think." And he goes, "Then I had this other friend who's ultra." One of the things I love about Jay is he will be in great relationship with people in different.
He's got tension.
Yeah, he's got tension. And this other friend he goes, "I had him read it." He goes, "He's a MAGA, da 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 da." And he just goes, first thing he said when he read it was, "Is he telling anybody to repent and that they should change their ways? Because if he's not, that he's not a good pastor."
Yeah.
And he goes, "I want to know what you think, Cole. Like, who's right?" I go, "Actually, Jay, I think both of them are 50% right, which actually makes neither of them right." And I go, his question of, does this pastor preach the true Bible and speak about repentance is a very fair question to ask.
Yep.
Because that has to be preached in the church.
Yep.
And I read the post and I go, man, he actually did have a really great use of scripture and he proved his point wrong. Now he's completely missing the fact that love also is correction.
Yeah, totally.
And,
right. Blessed are the wounds of a friend.
Right? Like and I go, the issue, Jay, is that neither of them have the full picture. They've each created a narrative based on scriptures that they like and that they think describe love.
Yeah.
And then it's like missiles back and forth.
Yeah.
At some point, to stop the missiles, both of those individuals have to go and look and say, "Oh man, I'm only coming with a portion of the gospel. I'm leaving out massive chunks of it." And, one of the things I shared with him, I go, because he's pretty along the lines of, you should be okay with everything. And I go, then how do you reconcile the two thieves on the cross?
Yeah.
I go, that's probably the best picture you could ever have. One thief spent about 30 minutes as a Christian and went to heaven of his entire life.
It's true.
And yet rebuked the other thief who didn't go to heaven.
Yeah.
You have the perfect epitome of what the answer is. God's grace is so powerful that you can live an entire life contrary to the word.
30 minutes.
And 30 minutes because of acknowledging with your mouth and believing in your heart that he's Lord, then you'll be saved. But if you're not willing to repent, then the outcome is very, very different for you. And he goes, "Well, he didn't rebuke him." I go, "Yeah." And we actually read it on the phone and he was shocked as the one thief in his conversion moment goes, "No, you're wrong. Can't you clearly see this is the Messiah?" And so to me, when we get into the yes, we have to figure out the covering, the protection, but we also have to go, "Man, am I making sure that I've got the whole picture when I'm processing and I'm talking and I'm dialoguing?" And then if I can spark a fire for the word of God that goes, I gotta hold both.
Mhm.
I have to hold that we're justified by faith and that true faith, genuine faith looks like a lifestyle that has changed. I had to hold those both
Yeah.
together and learn how to create that spark that says, I'm hungry for salvation, but I'm hungry for repentance as well. I'm going to teach both. I'm going to do it lovingly with careful correction, with gentle instruction. I'm not going to pick and choose a verse. I'm taking the entirety. And now all of a sudden we go, wow, we're having some really healthy dialogue. Jason and I, who probably couldn't be farther from belief on almost everything, 2 hours of really great dialogue, not getting angry, not lifting our
Mhm.
voice, and at the end, he goes, "Man, I have a lot to think about. I had never thought of these things this way
It's
before."
great. Yeah, it's part of the healing process, right? Of there has to be just healing sweep through our nation. I know for me in wrapping up, as a man, I do. I think a lot about the different roles that I'm playing in society right now, and even being a leader at Bethel Church, and just the reality that people are more emboldened right now than they've ever been, or as they've been in recent history, to do really bad things. And so part of me goes like, man, maybe I should be able to do all the things. Maybe I should be able to de-escalate someone emotionally. Maybe I should be able to protect somebody if they come into my home. Maybe I should be able to protect somebody if they come to the church and they're,
Mhm.
you know, and I don't think there's one right answer. What I do love is you should be competent at all those
I
things.
agree.
You should be really, really competent at all those things, because it's back to that quote that says, all evil needs in order to thrive is for good men to do nothing.
Yeah, it's great.
And if you're incapable to intervene in a place of need, then you're back to having to rely on somebody else
Mhm.
to come and save you. So, man, hopefully this was interesting to you guys.
It was interesting to me.
Yeah.
I literally am not gonna stop thinking about what those 2 kids in Montana must be thinking. They're probably literally like, I bet you they describe it to people as, "Man, we met this guy, this like Jesus guy in this coffee shop, and then we've never seen him again. We don't know if he's from Bozeman. Like he just came through
Bro,
and
they don't even know
changed our
I was a
life."
Jesus guy because I didn't even talk about
I
Jesus.
know you
I
did, but you
just talked
acted like
about
him, and I
him.
guarantee it was like the woman at the well, like, "Yeah, and you are living you have had five husbands, and you're not the man you're living with now is not even your how do you know me?"
She says, "No, I'm trying. I'm wanting to help him." I'm like, "No,
I
you
bet
wanted to sleep
I
with him."
bet you do.
Those aren't the same thing. Guys, I love you.
Right.
Have an incredible week. We'll see you next week on the BraveCo podcast.
Hey, BraveCo men. Hopefully you loved this week's episode. Listen, if you have not subscribed to our podcast, you are already behind. Go ahead and click right here to subscribe to our podcast. And if you have not watched last week's episode, you can click right here and watch last week's episode. And listen, if you want to upgrade your wardrobe, you can check out some of our new hats that we have in stock and all our other swag. Go to braveco.org and you can look at our store there. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.